So huge thanks for joining me, whether you're joining me live or at a later date. Some of the most important information you're going to listen to is in the next 10 minutes. So, Laura, huge thanks for joining me.
No problem.
So you've been featured in Property Investor News magazine, you've been interviewed by Nicole Bremner, Ryan, to others. You've appeared on stage with John Corrie, and all about GDPR.
Yes.
Why should people care about GDPR? And for people who don't know what it stands for, just remind us what it stands for.
Yeah.
Apart from lots of hard work.
Yes, the acronym is lots of hard work. So GDPR is the General Data Protection Regulations. So that's essentially what these regulations that surround how we look at information, how we process information, and that's what's governing it. So it doesn't quite mean there'll be lots of work to be done, but in reality it does.
Sure. So look, some people think we're too small, we're not, the big fish in the pond. So why should the small people care?
Really good question. The ICO, who are the regulatory body who are looking after the regulations and making sure that people are compliant with GDPR, their mission isn't to go out and go and find people to go and fine them. And they're not hunting for fines, essentially. What they are doing is they're looking for compliance. So the biggest risk as to not taking GDPR seriously is A, you've got a legal precedent in there around, you are responsible for this information and you're responsible for protecting it. The second part of that then is there is going to come a point where the people who are most compliant or who are really taking this very seriously will sing from the rooftops about their levels of compliance. And that will kind of essentially mean that you'll get into a point where clients will start knowing what their rights are. And if you're not ticking the boxes that somebody else is ticking, they're going to start knowing and asking questions, and they have the right to go and report people to the ICO, and that's more how people will be kind of caught out rather than being found and looked
so
into.
So what's the process with ICO, and who needs to apply for ICO license?
Registration. So the ICO is the Information Commissioner's Office, and their website is www.ico.org.uk, and they are essentially those who are looking after they're looking after the regulations. They're the regulator. The ICO say if you process personal information, you must register with the ICO. Now, the definition of personal information isn't all that clear, and there isn't, unfortunately, a full list of all the things that they consider. But what they are looking for is information that can identify you. So our names, our date of births, our passports, and particularly in the property world, we are kind of, anytime we do a KYC on somebody, that is our personal information. Know your customer, yeah. Or your due diligence customer client, yeah. Or when you're doing due diligence on any partners and you're looking for IDs and you're looking for addresses, that's the personal information we're talking about.
Okay, so the form with ICO isn't just about ticking boxes. You've got to go into a little bit more detail. I.e., one of the things you've got to have is a privacy strategy, would you say? Yeah,
absolutely. So it's definitely not a box ticking. You do box tick, but you are declaring that you are compliant. You're declaring that you have a privacy statement in place. You're declaring that you've got your processes and procedures in place in order for you to satisfy the regulations, and that's what your registration is reflecting. So it's not so simple to just say, oh, I'll go online and just register. There's more to it than that.
So do you have to submit what you've done to the ICO as well?
No, self-declaration.
Okay. So are people contacting you saying, look, we want you to go through our privacy structures?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people are putting their project plans together, and that's been a big thing, is that, you need to dedicate some time to this. And I know a lot of people don't have time, and this is something that's arrived on people's doorsteps. They're not ready to say, oh, I have 40 hours and I can pay somebody to go and do this. That's what smaller businesses are struggling with, because they weren't expecting this. So what people ask me to do is to help them on a couple of things. One, on their process mapping. So I know information comes in, but what parts should I care about? They want to know what strategy should they have in place, how should they be treating it, and how do they become compliant and make their existing infrastructure okay for the new world.
Sure. So, Laura, how can people get hold of you? Obviously, come along on the 4th of April. That's one easy way. Central London Property Network. You're going to be speaking at a number of other places as well. Or can they connect with you for another method as well?
Yeah, 100%. You can catch me either on Facebook, Laura Malachy, or you can email me, laura@riverlightdevelopments.com.
So Laura, what's a key question I've not asked you in this interview?
What do you do if you don't comply at all? My answer to not complying is that if you don't register with the ICO, it's a criminal offence. If you don't do anything to try and become compliant with GDPR and something happens, you lose a USB file, you get hacked, you send an email to the wrong place, you are a lot more vulnerable position than showing, actually we made an effort, we tried to implement all these processes, this is our strategy, this is how we're trying to get there. The ICO it's very difficult to become compliant overnight. It takes a long bit of time. Now we've all had 2 years, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, we've had 2 years.
What's the biggest challenges for business owners, whether it's small or medium, but more small because medium are...
They've got more infrastructure, yeah. The biggest issue I'm going around is they don't know what to do. They don't know where to start, and they don't know what they've got to be, how they need to be compliant. Now, I would say immediately start looking on the ICO's website. They've got some really, really good information to help you with this, because that will help you structure what you need to do and how to get there.
Look, I've mentioned today on the description underneath the video, you see a way to book for your place, your ticket for the event. There's, as I say, Laura's been featured in Property Investor News magazine, a 2-page article. Yeah. A number of different interviews, like Nicole Bremner, Ryan Carruthers, and also John Corrie as well. So I look forward to seeing you on the 4th of April. That's my next daytime event after the 7th of March. So 7th of March is my morning meet with interior architect Katia Komini and Piotr Ruskinek, who's going to be focusing on the auctions. And then we're going to get into the sexy subject of branding on the 4th of April. And I would say the less sexy subject of GDPR. So I look forward to seeing you whether before the 4th of April or, as I say, at any of my other meets as well. Look, this is the only meet I have managed to get Laura to agree to in terms of dates, so don't miss this date. I know it may not sound like the most exciting subject in the world, but sometimes some of the subjects which are key are so important to attend. So thank you, and thank you.